Okay, so the experience I shared in the previous video, that one is definitely not a dream. That um the it happened personally. Like, I felt what was going to happen to someone else. um I didn't realize what my calling was then, but that's one of the experience I had. And mind you, like I said, I was 17 or going on 17 years old at the time. I wasn't yet baptized, but I did come in contact with God and the Holy Spirit since I was 10 years old. So the Spirit of God was with me. God was with me. I knew who God was, but I wasn't living the life or operating how I should. But nonetheless, that is my calling, and I didn't realize it. So I am just sharing some videos ongoing on how some of the things that I have experienced because of what my calling is. And this is to help someone else who may be experiencing some things and don't know why. It has to do with your calling. And most of us, all of us, experience different things depending on what our calling is and or. So, I felt the burden of death for my mother's neighbor as a child. Now, like I say, ever since I was a child, I experienced certain emotions and feelings that weren't mine, and I didn't know how to deal with it. So I tend to lock away and shy away myself and stay away from people. I get the visions and the dreams, and I share them until I didn't want to share them anymore because people started getting weird with me and look at me like I'm weird. So I started to keep them to myself, and I started to pray until God to take it away because I didn't know what to do with it, and it makes me feel so bad about myself, you know. So that's not the only debt burden that I felt, but that's the first one I really and truly realized and saw what happened, the outcome of it. I didn't know that I was supposed to pray for the individual. I didn't even know that until later on, as I grew up and get older. Now I'm going to share one where I got vision. I got a vision. I would say a dream because the visions that I have aren't the ones that I get when I'm sleeping. I'll be wide awake and days like, stare out into space for a minute, and then I'll see God will show me stuff. And then when I'm asleep, he'll show me other things that is happening, that is going to happen, or that have had happened already. And when I share it, people say that I see too much, I may hear too much, I may feel too much, and them already too much, them throw down in my lap. So sometimes I tend to keep it to myself. My father is the only person that I would share stuff with that he wouldn't say, me see too much, I may hear too much, or make it seem like I'm lying. And mind you, I'm not from a family who's foreign to this. Almost everyone in my family is like this. Maybe not as deep as me, but my grandmother, I don't know if she used to feel the burden for people, like death burden or sickness burden, or but I know that she used to have dreams and visions of things, and she would get up and warn you and tell you not to do this or not to do that. My mother is like that. My sister is like that. My brothers are like that. But I've never heard them talk about themselves feeling the emotions of other people, whether it be death, sickness, sadness, or happiness. I've always been able to feel all of them. And that's the reason why I cry so easily. Yes, me bally, me cry, me ball for everything. Very sensitive and emotional. Anyway, so the one that I'm going to share now is a dream I had. This one happened in 2020. It wasn't for a specific individual, it was for the community. And even then, at that time, I started to figure out that I need to pray, but I'm still struggling with it because I don't know how to word the prayers, how to intercede, how to stand in the gap, how to show up and, put a dent in the camp of the enemy. So I was awakened from the dream 5 a.m. in the morning, and the dream that I had was I saw a white car driving slowly past my gate, and a young man was riding a bike in front of it, a young man in the community, and the car driving slow, 2 men jumped from the back and grabbed him and threw him in the back of the car, and his brown hat that matched his pants fell off his head. And the community run out after the car and started screaming, "Hey, they kidnapped this person. Hey, they kidnapped this person." So this one, I didn't feel a burden. I got a dream. And so I jumped from my sleep. And as I woke up, I saw my cousin coming through the gate, and I was telling him about the dream. And same as I'm telling him about the dream, the young man that I just saw in the dream being kidnapped was walking by in the same clothing that I saw. So I said, "I just saw you in my dreams, and this is what happened." And he said, "Well, it's not me. Stuff like that is going to happen, but it's not me." And so for the rest of that week, a white car was in the community driving slow behind the man that was walking. 2 men came out of it, got to a certain location, pie and alive a couple of people. For that week, over 4 people died in the same way that the vision showed me, and everyone got scared. So the guy saw me like a couple of days after a couple of incidents happened. That's exactly like the dream I had. And he said, "Please, whenever you get a dream, don't include me." So I'm not the one to include you. This is just what I saw, And that's just one of the negative comments that I would get about having a dream or a vision and then it coming to pass after. And I needed to go into prayer, and fasting. It was for the community because the community lost like 1, 2. Mind you, one of the person hat did fall off their head when they got pew-pewed. So 2, 4, 5, 6 people died in the same type of circumstances where a white car came, someone came out of it, pie and alive them, and that's what happened. in the community. The video is finished and me not done talk here. So those are just two. I'll only share those two for tonight.